Everyone, I'm here with a little video about runes. I did have a request from a viewer to ask me to talk about runes. I am actually thinking of doing a rune course on my website, but I thought I would show you. I have 3 different sets of runes that I'm working with and just give you a little info about them. I know that there are a lot of people who work with runes, but it's one of those things that maybe not everybody works with. So the runes are a alphabet system that was Anglo-Saxon, Northern Anglo-Saxon, and Scandinavian. And there's the Elder Futhark and the Younger Futhark. So Futhark is kind of like alphabet. Like the word alphabet is alpha and beta, which are the first 2 letters of the Greek alphabet, which is what our alphabet is based on. And then we have the Futhark, which is the first 6 letters in the runic system. So you have, I guess, what we would call F, U, T, H, A, R, and C or K. So Futhark. And those are the first 6 letters. So it's a rune system of 24. There's 24 different letters within the system. There was a 25th rune added later. Some people say as late as the 1980s, a blank rune that is a addition to the system, but it's not part of the original. And the original goes back to at least early medieval times, and it is both a writing system and a symbolic system. So, for example, this particular letter, the first one, Feo, represents the sound F, or what we call the letter F. However, it's also an idea. It's also a concept, and that's how we got into using them as a set of divination rather than just as letters. This particular deck is called the Witch's Runes, and it is by Silver Ravenwolf. I don't know if it's in print anymore, but it's my favorite rune system because I love that it has pictures on it so that people can kind of relate to it rather than just a letter, because all of these letters are associated with different things that would have been, part of the Norse environment. There are also slightly different ways to pronounce the letters. There's more Icelandic ways, more Scandinavian ways, more Germanic ways, but they're all sort of basically the same. So it's divided, the 24 are divided into 3 different groups. The first 8 are part of what's called Freya's letters. Then there's Heimdall's letters in the next 8, and then we have Tyr's letters, which are the following 8. So I'm not going to show you all, but I just kind of want to show you the different rune sets that I have here. This one, like I said, it's my favorite. I love that it's got the pictures on it. I think that the artwork is just gorgeous on it, and I find that when you're reading for others, it makes it a little bit more relatable. So these aren't in particular order, but I'm just going to show you the rest. And so, like, for example, Feo, cattle, is all about wealth, but it's not wealth like land wealth. It's wealth you have to look after. It's like cows, or cattle. You have to look after them. It's wealth that you have to nurture and grow. Here we have which is the ox, which is all about strength. Thorn. Here we have Thor's hammer. There's also sometimes there's a gateway that's used as an image for that. And it's all about passageways and being able to go to the next level of being and being able to overcome any kind of obstacles that are in your way. Here we have Asa, which here is associated with Odin and with his two ravens, Hunnigan and Munnigan, which is all about messages and wisdom. Rad, it's a little bit of a hot spot there, but the wheel, which is about the chariot, it's about movement, it's about travel, safe travels. And then we have Sen here, again, a bit of a hot spot there. Let's put that there. And that's about opening, it's about fire, it's about creativity. So I won't go through all the meanings, but I just wanted to kind of show you these cards because I think they're really, really cool. I love the colors on them. There's a blank rune. Soul and eagle. I like the size of these as well. They're a little bit big, a little bit long, but I quite like them. So that is my set of rune cards, and that's probably the ones that I work with the most. Oh, and then we have our 25th here. The most, because I just, like I said, I find that I really enjoy the pictures on them. I think that they're a nice size to handle. They're visually quite stunning, I think, and it's a great system to work with. I often use these kind of runes in readings where we're looking at the energy that's going on, because I find it's good at looking what kind of energy is flowing into your life or flowing out of your life. So I find it good for things like yearly readings to know what kind of energies to work with, or to accompany tarot readings, because it gives you an idea of what energies are going on around people. And they're quite nature-based in a lot of ways, and I don't know, I just kind of like them. I think they're really cool. It's a really neat little system, and it's a little bit different than your traditional sort of tarot cards, I find. So that's the cards that I have. Most of the time, runes are not on cards, although you can find decks of cards that have runes on them. The Viking Oracle has the runes in it, but also has additional cards. So I don't really think of it as a rune deck. I think of it more as an oracle deck. But I do have a couple of traditional, usually they're on stones or clay little tablets. So this is one that I have that a friend of mine gave me. Her family is actually Icelandic, and they have a lot of, you know, Icelandic type stuff. And this is the rune set she had. This is a fairly common one. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a book that comes with it. If you go into a bookstore, you will probably find this set. I think someone bought it for her because of her background, but she's like, you connect with this stuff more than me. So usually they come in little clay tiles like this. There's a little blank one there. And so what you would do is you'd reach into the bag and you'd grab a couple. Some people will use these as well with casting. They might use it to cast in a reading as well to help with the energies. I really like the feel of them. The only thing I think though is that they're different sort of sizes and shapes, which I'm not sure I'm really so keen on, but I really love that this is, you know, from my friend's family, and it makes me think of her every time I use them. And I do like them as just like, you know, pulling out a rune or two to start a reading is always like a really nice thing to do, and kind of gives you an idea of what energies are happening in that person's life. So that's those ones there. Just gonna pick up. The other thing with the tiles too is that sometimes it can be hard to tell if they're upside down or not, whereas with the cards you can tell that because runes do have reversals to them. And sometimes if a rune like this one, is that right side up or is that right side up, you know? And then too, if they're on their side, so you have to kind of make a judgment call with that. So that's why I find that I actually kind of enjoy the cards a little bit better than I do the tiles. The other set I have is these are obsidian stones. Or is it hematite? It's hematite, pardon me. Hematite, and this a friend made for me, which is really, really cool. I quite like them. See, there's hagel there. And these are great for casting because they're kind of small, really great to just kind of throw. There's the blank one. There's tear, I love tear. So there's some really, I really like these. And of course they have a really nice grounding energy to them. So I do, depending on what I'm kind of using, if I'm using runes as sort of like the soul thing going on in reading, like an yearly energy reading, I'll use the cards. But if I'm just using them to accompany with a tarot reading, I'll probably go with the tiles or these stones, because you, like I said, you can just reach in and grab one or two and just see which ones the person grabs to kind of give you an idea of what kind of energy is going on. These ones too are really nice for casting just because they're so small and lovely, and I like the hematite. So that's my rune collection that I have going on. Like I said, I was thinking of doing a little bit more of an in-depth kind of short rune course for people that might be interested in learning more about the runes. They are definitely a very cool system. I know right now Vikings are fairly popular as well, so I think there's been more interest in runes and that kind of thing. So let me know what you think. Do you work with runes? Is it something that you're interested in? Like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.